Hello fanciers. Welcome back to the Game Dog Caribbean channel. We know you've all been waiting in great anticipation. We got the messages and requests, but things had gotten very busy around here, and it took some time to get the ideas together. Things were also extra busy on the hunting trails around the region, so we have a lot in store for you today. Stay tuned. The content you experience here is fictional and for entertainment purposes only, something like the Harry Potter book, or the story of the Avatar, The Last Airbender, and content of that nature. Please like, comment and share this video. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified whenever new content is posted to this channel. BBK presents, King of Country, Blood Wars, 1922. This convention was another one put on by the BBK Hunting Club and was the result of multiple camps coming together to place a control on the rising wild boar population in the open countryside. Events such as this were indicative of the working relationship between the dogmen and local farmers. It had been some time since the local game hunters saw an event such as this, and hunting clubs from near and far were present in the woods. Due to interference, the show was broken up into different heats and the hunts took place over a period of 4 days in different hunting locations in the woods. Show number 1. HHK's Charlie vs WDK's Jade Lion, males, set at 41.5 pounds, referee, HGK. For this hunt, HHK was using one of their Solution OG blends, while WDK was using one of their notorious lion dogs for this hunt. Both were prospects on the trail, but the build-up to this hunt had all hunting clubs in great anticipation. At the scale, HHK's Charlie, 41 pounds, 8 ounces, WDK's Jade Lion, 41 pounds, 8 ounces. Both hunters were on weight and they made their way to the trail. From the release, both hunters met their hog in the middle, with Charlie shooting for his hog's chest and shoulders as Jade was on the defense trying to keep his hog out on the head and muzzle. The exchange was even early on, but Charlie soon gained a lead on the hunt using his size and conditioning to his advantage. The hunters were moving at a fast pace on the trail and Jade was getting in some vicious shakes on occasion on his boar's head and legs. While both athletes were the same weight, Jade was clearly the smaller animal in on this hunt and his boar was giving him much trouble to subdue. Charlie on the other side of the trail continued to dominate the hunt and paused on a few occasions when his boar was not creating much of a resistance. The hunt slowed down a little past the 25-minute mark and Charlie was clearly ahead on the trail. Jade on the other hand was going on the defense more often as a result of his boar's vicious attacks. A turn was eventually called and acknowledged on the Jade Lion and handles were achieved at around the 36-minute mark. On Jade's turn to go, he stood the line, refusing to continue the hunt, and Charlie made an impressive scratch to end the hunt at 37 minutes. Winner, HHK's Charlie, one-time winner in 37 minutes. Show number 2. RRKW's Shadow, one-time winner versus HSK's Metro Dan, males, set at 37.5 pounds, referee, CCK. For this hunt, RRKW was bringing out their one-time winner Shadow to try and achieve their second ribbon on the hunting circuit. HSK on the other hand was bringing out a prospect to stop the RRKW team in their tracks if they had something to say about it. At the scale, RRKW's Shadow, 36 pounds, 7 ounces. HSK's Metro Dan, 37 pounds, 2 ounces. Both hunters made the contracted weight and were on their way to the trails. From the release, both hunters were off to an explosive start with both catch dogs on the offense trying to subdue their boar. Metro was shooting for the boar's front end but eventually got him on the head, while Shadow was keeping his boar out on the head and bottom jaw. The exchange was even early on and the hunters were moving at a very fast pace on the trail, hitting their spots trying to bring their boars down. Shadow was heating up early on but recovered swiftly on the trail and continued to pursue his hog. Metro on the other side of the trail was showing good skill and maintaining holds on his boar more often. Metro was shooting for the legs and shaking viciously whenever he hit the target. Shadow on the other hand was showing good defense on the trail as his boar was showing good strength and ability. Metro Dan eventually hit a heat wall on the trail and had trouble recover, while Shadow was also heating up but hitting up his bore on occasion and causing damage. A turn was called on the Metro dog and handles were achieved, but Shadow was asked to scratch in error and the hunt continued. Shadow continued to hit his hog up in the throat and on occasion the back end, while Metro began hitting the mat more often on his side of the trail. The HSK team eventually threw in the towel as Shadow was in much better condition to end the hunt. Winner, RRKW's Shadow, 2-time winner in 41 minutes. Show number 3. BSK's Drop-In vs DCK's Snowy, females, set at 45 pounds, referee, CCK. For this hunt the camps involved were bringing out 2 prospects to get the job done. At the scale, BSK's Drop-In, 45 pounds, 15 ounces. DCK's Snowy, 45 pounds, 8 ounces. Both hunters were over the contracted weight due to a break in the schedule, so it was a wash and the hunt was on. From the release, both hunters met their hog in the middle, with Snowy going to her boar's legs and shaking viciously as Drop-In went on an early defense trying to keep the hog out by the muzzle. Snowy was showing good strength and ability early on the hunt, maintaining her holds and forcing her boar to defend on the trail. Drop-In on the other hand was very patient about getting her hog out, which she eventually did, and proceeded to shake the boar's front end viciously any opportunity she got. The hunt slowed down by the 18-minute mark and a turn was called and acknowledged on Snowy. Drop-In was clearly ahead on the trail at this point. Snowy continued falling behind on the hunt as her hog was doing more damage to her gear and she was beginning to heat up and not recovering. Drop-In on the other side of the trail was in better shape and recovering fine, keeping the pressure on her boar. The DCK team threw in the towel after the first scratch and Snowy refused to go across the trail on her courtesy. Winner, BSK's Drop-In, 1-time winner in 33 minutes. Show number 4. PTK's Promise, 1-time winner vs MK's Machine, males, set at 38.5 pounds, referee, HGK. For this hunt, PTK was originally bringing back out the SCK 1-time winner to strike back at the BWK team and their 1-time winner 16, who comfortably outhunted PTK and the nation's Hannibal 2-time winner 1-time game loser at 38 pounds the previous winter. The PTK team was confident about their winner and was willing to meet the BWK team at whatever weight they would be campaigning the 16 dog at. But this was not to be, as a few weeks out from the hunt the BWK team surrendered the deposit as their hunter could not make it to the trail. The PTK club was still anxious to show their primed and ready machine and got another hookup with the DDK club, who eventually also surrendered the deposit due to an unforeseen incident. However, the great MK club was waiting in the pocket ready to take on the PTK team after receiving a forfeit themselves from the TST hunting club for the same event. The MK team had some mishaps in their earlier hookup and the hunter he was now bringing to the trail was a replacement at the 11th hour. The MK club was adamant that they wouldn't surrender their deposit, and they also had a program that brought the dogs together in short order. At the scale, PTK's Promise, 38 pounds, 8 ounces. MK's Machine, 38 pounds, 8 ounces. From the release, both dogs met their hog in the middle, with Promise going to his boar's legs and shaking viciously, while Machine started off on the defense trying to get his hog out by the muzzle and ear. Promise continued trying to work his hog's front end on the trail as Machine was still defending. Machine eventually began heating up and Promise followed soon after. Machine began hitting the mat while maintaining holds with the wild boar to slow him down. The exchange continued in this manner until Promise also hit a heat wall on the trail and was trying to recover. Machine then regained his footing and proceeded to work his boar's front end, shaking viciously. Machine was showing some dominance on the trail while Promise began hitting the mat. The hunt slowed down considerably just past the 33-minute mark and handles were achieved. Machine hesitated on his first scratch but bolted across before the 10 count. Promise on the other hand was making more convincing scratches. Machine continued to dominate the hunt, maintaining holds with his boar and shaking the front end on occasion. Promise recovered slowly and continued shooting for a hold and shaking his boar's front end. The hunt continued in this manner with each catch dog making over 4 scratches each before they both stood the line at the hour and 22-minute mark. Both hunters refused to continue the hunt and the contest was a draw at 1 hour and 22 minutes. Show number 5. LGK's Bishop one-time game loser vs CK's Redman, males, set at 37 pounds, referee, HGK. For this hunt, LGK was bringing back out their one-time game loser Bishop, which was a blend of CK's heavy Eli Balio blood with some of the old school BWK stuff. CK on the other hand was bringing out a prospect to get the job done. LGK was down 3 hunts in recent times, but the super active club was back on the trail trying to turn things around. At the scale, LGK's Bishop, 37 pounds, 2 ounces. CK's Redman, 37 pounds, 0 ounces. From the release, both hunters hit their hog in the middle with Redman in the front end as Bishop was trying to get his hog out from the muzzle. Redman was moving very impressively with good strength and speed, shaking the boar's legs and shoulders viciously any chance he got. Bishop on the other side of the trail was shooting for the boar's head and chest and striking on occasion. By the 2-minute mark, Redman had severed one of his boar's front end guards, placing his hog in a difficult position for the remainder of the hunt. Bishop on the other side of the trail began taking some early damage on the hunt. Redman then continued to dominate his disabled boar on the head and ear, which really gave his boar the opportunity to stay in the race. Bishop on the other side of the trail was showing some deep gameness after being put behind on the hunt but hitting the mat more often. The exchange continued well past the 2-hour mark with Redman clearly ahead but not quite putting the hog away. A turn was eventually called on the LGK catch dog and the hunters completed 2 scratches each before Bishop stood the line on his 3rd chance to go. Redman then made a convincing scratch to end the hunt. Winner, CK's Redman, one-time winner in 2 hours and 17 minutes. Show number 7. DWK's Priest vs MCK's Savage, males, set at 35 pounds, referee, HGK. For this hunt, DWK and MCK were bringing some prospects to the trail. DWK's Priest was a direct son of the very game champion Wrecker, while the MCK team was using one of their old school blends. At the scale, DWK's Priest, 35 pounds, 2 ounces. MCK's Savage, 34 pounds, 13 ounces. From the release, both hunters met their hog in the middle with Priest on his hog's front end while Savage was busy trying to get his hog out on the muzzle from the mat early on the trail. Priest continued pressuring his hog in the front end and shook viciously any chance he got. Savage on the other hand was still on the defense but regained his footing and hitting his boar on the muzzle and head on occasion. Priest was looking like the stronger catch dog on the hunt and dominating his hog on the trail. Savage on the next side of the trail was having a more difficult time with his boar but showing good skill and ability when given the opportunity. Savage began heating up on the trail but was still putting up a resistance from the mat, while Priest was having his way with his wild boar. At that fast pace Priest eventually began heating up also, and at the 35-minute mark the exchange was beginning to look a little more even. Savage was also recovering on his side of the trail and seemed to have more in the tank at this point. By the 50-minute mark the out-of-hold count was completed with Priest to scratch but he refused to continue on the trail. Savage on the other hand made an impressive scratch hitting his boar into the side of the trail to end the hunt. Winner, MCK's Savage in 1 hour and 5 minutes. BBK's King of Country, Blood Wars Edition, 1922. BIS, BSK's Drop-In one-time winner BIS. GIS, MCK's Savage one-time winner GIS. Thank you for watching and continue tuning into the Game Dog Caribbean channel. Until next time, the best place to begin is square one, and remember, good dogs are where you find them. Be sure to comment, like and share this video. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we post new content.